Hi, my name's Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite YouTube channel in the Citadel. Hoorah! Mash Mikey Gaming.
G'day gamers, and welcome to another week's edition of Shit I'm Never Gonna Play, the weekly show, well hopefully, as long as I don't run out of money, where I show you the games that I bought for the week, as well as we'll go into depth in what I've actually been playing this week, and just give a few memories or thoughts of the games that we have bought. So you may notice that we're in a completely different room this week. This is actually my current man cave, soon to be upgraded to a man cave 2.0, as I've got commencement of a building of a gamer room coming up in a couple of weeks. So I'll try and keep you guys up to date with what's going on there. But this week, actually bought myself a Xbox One S. That's why we're actually not in the normal room. What happened with the Xbox, it doesn't actually come with the Kinect cable. So I've actually had to get onto the phone to Microsoft. They do have a promotion running at the moment where they are actually sending out some free ones. I think it's the same one as the actual Windows Kinect, that you need the cable for that. So if you do have an Xbox One and an Xbox One S, just make sure you write down the serial numbers. Just get through to Microsoft, give them the serial numbers of the original Xbox One, the Xbox One S, and the Kinect, and they'll ship you a connector for free, but it is for a limited time, as I said. And and also in great news this week, I'm actually getting the faster internet come through. So what that means, not much for you guys, but it means that I won't be up until 5 o'clock in the morning uploading 3 times, and editing, then uploading again, and hopefully it being ready Saturday morning for you guys. But that leads right into the games I've been playing this week. So after I finished and was waiting for the upload of last week's Shit I'll Never Play video, I actually finished Shenmue on the Dreamcast. And if you didn't read the Facebook post, just wow, that game is amazing for something that's probably half my age. I'm 35, so it is a very weird and wonderful game. Where do you start? It's open world, but there's only probably about 3 or 4 sections to this game. So in terms of open world, it's not your GTA or anything like that. But just the vision that this bloke had, who created the game, I wouldn't know his name from a bar or so. But there's just something special about it. You can't describe it unless you've actually played it and finished it. And so I was in such a great mood after I finished it, and I still obviously had a lot of upload time. So I started number 2, and what the hell do you know? It actually carries your save over from the first game onto the second. The only letdown being is that the Dreamcast version of Shenmue 2 on the Dreamcast is in Japanese, so it's subtitled. So I'm sort of at a crossroad at the moment. I'm like, well, do I use the benefit of it carrying over my save game onto my new game, or do I just chuck in the original Xbox version and get English? So I'm probably gonna give it a go on the Dreamcast. There's not many JRPGs or Japanese-based games that I have actually stuck through, so maybe this will be the first one. And look, in all honesty, it does sound better with the Japanese voiceovers. Also this week, I just touched a bit on Overwatch last night after read about the new update that was out with the Olympics, the Rio Olympics. So they've got like a Rocket League add-on. So it's 3 versus 3, and you can punch, you can jump high, like with power-ups, and you've got like a gun that shoots. So the gun pretty much blocks it, and you punch obviously, but obviously the gun can shoot for goal as well. I only really played 1 round of that, was not very good at it, to be honest. Also been keeping on with Dragon Age, lots of mirrors in that game, so really not much to report on that. It's just a matter of you going all over the place. I don't know, it's just that game is not making much sense to me at the moment. I've put in well over 120 hours, and maybe that's the downfall of the game. It just goes too long to be able to actually remember or intake all the stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old. I don't know. But just an update with my ongoing feud with CEX and Australia Post. I scored a minor victory. One of the packages actually finally got delivered this week. But at the moment, there's the last package that's actually hasn't been returned to sender. So I've been calling Australia Post and saying to them, look, can you just return it to the sender? No, we can't do that unless you're the sender itself, and they need to call us. And I'm like, well, they're not going to call you because they apparently haven't heard of a thing called a phone. So I've been emailing them. I haven't got an email back from CEX in about a week. So that is just sitting nowhere. So I've lodged the PayPal dispute. Hopefully that will get their butts into gear. And yeah, so look, moving on. I mean, I'm sorry, I feel a bit weird being in this room, to be honest. It doesn't feel as comfy as the couch. But moving on to what I got this week. Let's start with the oldest one first, which is Metal Gear Solid for the original PlayStation 1. Now, this game was, in case you haven't watched any earlier videos, I do fondly talk about this game. Metal Gear Solid on the original PlayStation was the first game that actually introduced me into story-based games. Normally I just used to buy them for, you know, your NBA games, your golf games, just sporting games in general. That's what a console game to me when I was a little Mad Mikey. And then there was a girl I was chasing and she worked at Toys R Us, and I used to get paid cash in hand every day. $100. So $100 was pretty much a packet of smokes, a little bit of money aside for grog, and a game per Monday to Friday. So I'd get my workmates to drop me off at Toys R Us, and I'd buy a new game. I bought a new game one day for a month. So it was 5 days a week for a month, so 4 weeks worth. And stumbled upon Metal Gear, and that changed my whole perspective of video games. And for the better. Like, I actually looked forward to finishing work. Not that I didn't used to not like finishing work, but I used to race home and like, oh, this is what happened last night. This is what happened. Blah blah blah. And that's my memories of that, and they're very fond. I have picked it up, as I told you guys, on the GameCube. So I'll probably finish that, and then maybe we'll jump back into the PlayStation 1. So, as I said earlier on in the video, picked up a Nintendo 64 this week. Picked up 4 games with that. So the pack that I bought actually came with 3, and then I bought an additional one of something that I have never played, and that game is Star Wars Shadow of the Empire. Big Star Wars fan, in case you don't know. Never played this game. Now, I know that you don't actually play a Jedi. I did fire it up very, very briefly just to test out the console, and it is awesome. I sort of skipped through because I just wanted to make sure that the controls were working and whatnot. And what actually happened is you talk to Han Solo. So first cab off the rank, Han Solo's there, like, yeah, this is a Star Wars game. And then you actually the tutorial stage takes place on the Battle of Hoth. So that was really cool. I know a lot of the Rebel Assault games on the GameCube have all of that. I actually don't have them, so they're going to be, I'm going to be trying to pick them up eventually. But yeah, the controls took a bit getting used to. Like, putting one of those Nintendo 64 controllers in your hands after so long is a trip. But look, we'll get there, next up, what I got with it was Donkey Kong 64. Never played it. As I said, look, there were a few games that I used to play back in the day, and sporting ones were generally the majority of them, with the exception of the Spice Girls game, which was awesome because apparently there was a nude glitch. But I digress. Donkey Kong 64, never played this game, but from what I've heard, it's one of the classics. So I'm looking forward. I've got a mate popping over tonight. If my knee lets me, I might be able to go into the old potential gaming room and fire up the old TV and play with that. Next up was another one. Now, I've definitely played this, but I didn't get into it as much as my friends because, yeah, that's just how I roll. James Bond, GoldenEye. Now, this is apparently a classic. I know about it. I've heard about it. I've seen gameplay. This is supposed to be the diamond in the rough of the 64, so I was more than happy to get this included in my pack. Haven't tested it to make sure it's working, but they all look clean. They all look fine. If not, I've got the cleaning detergent thing that can clean it. So, yeah, I don't know much about it in regards to like the story, but I obviously know that multiplayer is, this is the must-play multiplayer. But you know me, I'm a single-player kind of guy. Just one game per guy. And just to round it off, a bit of a ratty-tatty one, an old ex-rental one, James Bond: The World Is Not Enough. Now, I don't think I've played this. I think Tomorrow Never Dies. Or there was I actually think it was this. One Christmas, when I started really getting back into games, PC games and whatnot, my mum was like, well, what do you want? I said, I want a video game. So we went out and we bought one. And the only new game that was actually out was James Bond. I believe it was Tomorrow the World Is Not Enough. So I played that and it was nothing like the movie, if I'm talking about the same game. And yeah, I didn't really get into much because around Christmas time, there's obviously not many games out, which is a bit of a pity for us gamers. And next up, we've got a couple of PlayStation 2 games off my boy Mark Voss, the Enabler. Every now and then he will send me an a messenger message. I'm just completely all over the place. And he's like, oh, have you seen that I've got this? Have you seen that I've got this? And and there's always a couple that I'm going to end up picking up. One that I ended up getting from him was the original Metal Gear game. He actually bought that off of a guy, and he was like, oh, it's got a crack on the screen, blah, 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 it doesn't come with this. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll buy it off you. Why not? Next up, this one was a bit of a mistake, and Australia Post managed to destroy it, but Alone in the Dark. Now, if you watched one of the previous videos, I've actually already got this on the Xbox 360. I actually thought that this was the new Nightmare one. We were discussing a few terms late at night, and I'd had a few drinks, and I just assumed. But that's cool. Let's see how if I ever get around to comparing the two of them. Apparently, it's a shitty game, but it introduced episodic gaming, so that's a cool memory, isn't it? Next up, Siphon Filter Dark Mirror. Now, I played the original ones on the PlayStation 1, and I did really enjoy them because that was just coming off the back heel of Metal Gear, so really getting into the stealth games and whatnot. Funnily enough, I never got into the early games of Splinter Cell, which is really weird. But never played, as I said, in previous videos, I've never had much of a PlayStation 2 collection, so no military, no special forces, just Gabe Logan. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. 30 global spanning missions. So if this is an upgrade from the original PlayStation 1, it should be pretty cool. Next up, the finally arrived CEX games. Not much a real note here. I've actually owned 2 of these games already. First one being Aggressive Inline. This was to me, this was one of the more successful Tony Hawk rip-offs. It was actually a really cool game. I used to play it on the GameCube. Then when I got rid of the GameCube for the Xbox, I got it on the Xbox because I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And actually my mate who's coming over tonight, he was really good at the Tony Hawk games and he got right into this. So we played hours on hours on this one. Yeah, just your normal extreme sports game. It is thoroughly enjoyable though. I would definitely recommend this to anyone. Next up, another extreme sports, NBA Street Volume 2. Now this has got another CEX story next to it. I actually ordered this game ages ago off of them, and they sent me NBA Street Volume 3 package with NBA Street Volume 2 PlayStation 2 in the disc case, and it was an Xbox One that I was supposed to be ordering. But to me, Volume 2 is the best one of the lot. It was really cool. It's got a lot of legends in there, so you've got like your Dr. J's and whatnot. And this one was really good. Number 3 did improve on it, but I've always got a soft spot for number 2. And lastly, we've got a little Batman. Swear to me! Now, this was obviously based on the movie Batman Begins. Don't know anything about it. I have looked at a few reviews on this game, and it's not as bad as I think it is. I actually have a burnt copy, which I did play about 5 minutes to test it out. But yeah, look, it actually looks good. I can't remember the voiceover acting. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have like your have all the stars from the movie. But look, I'm a big Batman fan. That's another game that I have actually been playing this week. The new Batman Telltale games. It's a bit sluggish, but I did get around to finishing it. So look, guys, that's it for this week. If you guys have got any questions or whatnot about the games, or if there's anything that you'd like me to bring up, as you saw last week's video, we did have a question from the Facebook page. So I'm trying to get a little bit of, as my wife laughs at me, interactivity included in these. So guys, if you like the new setup, let us know. I am actually using my iPhone for this one instead of the Kinect. Do you guys think this is better? But yeah, look, hope you guys have a great gaming week, and hopefully this will be uploaded sometime late tonight or early this morning or early tomorrow morning. Take care, guys.